Hi, this is Ryan. We're continuing our conversation with Vice Admiral Moore, retired from the U.S. Navy. We're talking about Israel. I want to continue the conversation we've been on, and I want to talk about really security. First of all, as we look at security with Israel, we can honestly see that there were some intelligence failures. There's something that happened that we don't know for sure, but with the Iron Dome, with intelligence, with people that came over from Gaza, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. But before I do, I want to speak for a minute about how important it is we secure our own border here first, because we're talking about helping Israel. This is about a nation that's at war right now. They've been unnecessarily, needlessly, mercilessly, attacked, beheadings, killing dozens of babies and children. The most demonic, I will just call it that, demonic attack, and that's exactly what it is. But as we go to support them, many people in our country want to know, Ryan, and they're asking me, what about our own border? Who's here? And I want to let everyone know this. I stand for a secure border, not just on the southern border, but on the northern border, on every aspect of our country. We have to secure our own border for many reasons. Not just drugs, not just human trafficking, that's one. But the illegal aliens that are coming here is so important that we know who they are, where they came from. I was just given some information recently, and this came from the Customs and Border Patrol. 6,400 in the last 2 years or so, people that have come here, aliens from Afghanistan. 30,000 from Turkey, 3,100 from Egypt, 13,000 from Uzbekistan. There are so many people coming from different regions. We do not even know who all's here. We have to have a method of e-verify for every single company. This is part of my comprehensive border security plan that I have, that we no longer allow sanctuary cities to be here in the United States. We no longer allow catch and release, where we apprehend somebody. We see, oh, where are you from? Or I'm from Egypt, and we just let them go and let them buy a sandwich, or we're not putting them up in hotels. We've got to know who's here, and if they're not supposed to be here, we need to be escorting them back to their own country. That is my policy. There's a lot more to it at Binkley 2024, but as we look at helping Israel be secure, I want to make sure everyone knows we must be secure here. Short term, we can do that some with the military, and I'm in favor of that. But long term, we need a funded, long-term policy, border security, which takes billions of dollars. It's going to take a bipartisan support with funds. That's my long-term plan. But let's move now into Israel. Something happened. Intelligence failures at some level, or something happened. Can you speak to a little bit about the Iron Dome, a little bit about maybe even some people are listening, aren't aware exactly how people came over from Gaza. Share with us a little bit about what you know.
Yes, on this past Saturday, there was a multifaceted attack perpetrated by Hamas across the border between Gaza and Israel. This attack took place by firing rockets in the first instance. Several thousand, I've heard reports from 2,000 to 5,000 rockets. There were bulldozers and tractors that broke through the fences and allowed Hamas fighters to infiltrate into Israel. And there were these paragliders, and I think those were the ones that were able to sort of land right in the middle of this music festival.
Unbelievable.
And ended up with 250 or so of these young people slaughtered at the music festival. So a movement of this magnitude, to me, is inconceivable that it would not have been detected by both Israeli and American and other surrounding nations, have intelligence organizations. There must have been an enormous amount of chatter on their cell phones, on various communication networks that we could have detected and observed overhead the movement of these massive Hamas forces. So I don't know what happened. We will call it an intelligence failure for now. We'll see what happens in the future. But one of the things we must do is we must shore that up to make sure that we have some insight into what's going to happen in the future. You mentioned Iron Dome. Just one last comment on Iron Dome. It's there to engage these rocket launches. I heard a report that it was possibly turned off. No known reason why. There's some speculation maybe they were able to hack into it and shut it down. But Iron Dome is incredibly effective. I think they've got it back up and operating. We as Americans need to make sure they have all the Iron Dome munitions that they need.
Many people are asking, more about what America should do. I was asked this question just yesterday on the radio. Ryan, would you send troops there? First of all, we need to know Israel has not asked for troops, and they've never asked for troops. They have now, their whole nation is reserves. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think most of them anyway, they've just called up 360,000 in their own nation to be ready. I think more than anything, they need the support that we have from an intelligence perspective. As we spoke earlier, we have our battle group there, the Ford battleship carrier in there in that region. That shows a lot as well. I'm sure there's other intelligence things we can shore up. We mentioned earlier they do need our prayers and support. This was some sort of, obviously we can look at this, has to be some sort of intelligence breach in some way. Something happened because this is on the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War.
Yes.
This is no different than us than 9/11, 20 years later, 30 years later. Maybe on these significant anniversaries, we should be more aware. I'm sure there was something there that we're aware. We don't know the full story. We will keep praying that they figure that out as well. In the meantime, it's not time to play armchair quarterback or Monday morning quarterback. It's time to engage and to be ready. This is one of the most serious times as our nation. And I really believe this because our nation is hurting in so many ways. We have got an insecure border here. We've got problems financially. We're in debt. We are broken. We've got support that we're giving to Ukraine. That war needs to be stabilized, brought to an end quickly, as soon as possible. As president, I would do my best, and I would be using every bit of leadership, every bit of ability with diplomacy and strength, because it will take both, to end that war. But as we go on these four fronts, I do believe this. It's time for the United States to step up. It's not time for us to retreat. We have many people in our political party, the Republican Party, doesn't know whether to step up or to retreat anymore. It's never time for us to retreat in the face of an ally that needs help. Israel is a strong ally. They need help. I'm never in favor of allowing communism, allowing terrorism to be expanded across the globe. We stand for freedom. We stand for God. We stand for truth. No nation is perfect. The United States isn't perfect. Israel's not perfect. This isn't a matter of statements, well, they've done everything perfect, so we shouldn't or should not support. This is a matter of what is the right thing to do, and the right thing to do is to support them now in every single way. We're going to talk a little bit further about Iran in the next segment and really the bigger picture at play. Because as you and I have talked, you can go down this rabbit hole finding out what happened in Gaza, but there was some support from Iran likely and some other players as well. We're going to dive into that next.